Hello, people. How you been for a little bit? I've been thinking about doing another My Tier List opinion, but this time it's about Madagascar characters. Because I've been thinking about Madagascar from Dreamworks quite a lot recently, I thought about sharing you my opinion on the Madagascar characters. It's not going to be as long as the previous three videos I did about my tier list opinion because there is not as much to go through. So let's get started. So I think we need to start the characters that appeared in the first one up until Europe's Most Wanted because that makes sense, doesn't it? Alex. What do I think about Alex? I really like Alex the Lion, I do. He's a friendly, confident character with courage and he's not scared to stand up unless it's Gloria, because when Alex was fighting over Marty because they got to Madagascar, well, San Diego, Melman calls it, he wasn't too impressed because he was far away from New York City at Central Park Zoo, which they all came from. But chronologically, Alex has originally came from Africa in Escape to Africa, because when we saw the flashback in the beginning of Madagascar 2, he actually got captured in a crate and he was swept away into the ocean to New York City. He's not my favourite character, but he is a very, very good character and very rememberable too. I'll tell you who is my favourite character very soon because I do have one from my childhood. So it goes here. This X section would be my favourite character or characters, but I'll let you know once it comes through. Marty. I like Marty, I do, the zebra. He's the one that got Alex, Melman, and Gloria to Madagascar and Africa because on his 10th birthday he wanted to go to the wild and explore the real world outside of Central Park Zoo. And he actually done that thanks to the penguins helping him out how to sneak out during the evening after Molly's 10th birthday. But the way they got to Madagascar went a bit differently according to plan. Because Madagascar, the first film, came in 2005, about 16 years ago nearly. I will tell you what happened because most of us have seen the film by now since it was released 16 years ago. Marty got to the Grand Central Station because he wanted to get onto the train for some reason. I don't know how he's going to get to Madagascar from by train. But before he left New York City, Alex, Melman, and Gloria got him, and they eventually got the police involved and the animal pest control shooting. They're like darts, but they got like chemicals in the inside where it makes the animals dozy or someone dozy. Tranquilizers are they called? My apologies, I just can't really remember, but I know what happened in the film. They got into crates in a big ship to Africa, which they were originally going to go, but because the penguins managed to control the ship, the crates fell out into the ocean, and that's how they got to Madagascar in the first film. Well, lucky Marty, eh? He was dead on lucky. Because I know there'll be lots of animals or people that's been worse off than him. Marty, Marty, Marty. You are very lucky. He's a very memorable character. I really like him. He hasn't been my favourite character, but I know he serves the franchise because he was the one that wanted to go to Madagascar and that's how the franchise was born. Yeah. Same thing with Alex. Them two are best friends and one of the most memorable characters in the whole franchise, except for the penguins and King Julian, which I'll go into a little bit. Melman. No, not Sheeman, not that Melman from Shifu's Giraffe Toys I made a few months ago, which is a parody of like a toy advert. It's all pretend. It's not real. Just so that you know, you can't actually get a Sheeman, Jeffu, Harifu, Shiodrafu, Jurashi, or a Koranafu toy. It's not real. It was only pretend. And don't be so doom and gloom and grey and rain. I know life is not always sunshine and rainbows, but even Melman is not that negative. I like Melman, I do. Um, he's a bit cowardly, he is, where he can be frightened most of the time. He's not as confident as Alex, but he will always goes with his three friends, even on dangerous adventures. He loves Gloria. I don't think they got married, I don't think, in the whole franchise, but they have been boyfriend and girlfriend since Madagascar escaped to Africa. Yeah, I like Melman. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been my favourite character either, but I like him. He's not a villain, he's not annoying, he's not repetitive. He's someone that's friendly and caring, but just not very confident. But at least Alex, Marty, and Gloria can look after him. So yeah, the same with these three main characters. I like them, but they're not like my number one character, if you want to call it. Now, Gloria. She is actually have been my favourite character from Madagascar when I probably saw the first film in 2006, likely. Speaking of Gloria, I even got a plush toy I got from Blackpool a long time ago. It was probably in 2005. I got Gloria from Blackpool, which I never used in MTF because I didn't manage to find her again until in 2015 or 2016 maybe, somewhere like that. In my loft, my plush Gloria. I really like her, I do, with her Kim Kardashian sassy attitude and voice. She's very, she's like the proper leader of the group than Alex is, where Alex is so afraid to stand up to Gloria because if he doesn't do what she's asked, or if he threatens Marley or Melman at any time, Gloria will tell him off, seriously. Uh, maybe. I don't know if I had a crush on Gloria when I was a kid. Maybe when I was 6 years old. Bear in mind, we're talking about 2005, so this was a long time ago. I even had the Madagascar DS game and the PlayStation 2 game. So yeah, I have seen Madagascar lots of times in my life. I've seen Escape to Africa in the cinema, but I didn't see Europe's Most Wanted until a few years ago. It was on BBC One, I think, around Christmas time, 3 or 4 years ago. I will let you know what is my favourite Madagascar film in a bit once I've gone through all of these characters. Gloria's going to go on the top because childhood favourite. She is probably, maybe as of now, still my favourite character of the main characters and the franchise as well. Now we're going to move on to the penguins now because they appeared in the first film. We gotta talk about Skipper first because he is the leader. Skipper is comical. I just keep smiling and he keeps up with his team. He does. Their flashback was first known in the Penguins of Madagascar, their spin-off film that came out in 2014. Is Skipper one of my favourite characters? Probably he is when I've been growing up. I even tried to get Skipper as a plush originally a few years ago when the Penguins of Madagascar came out, but unfortunately I never had any of the Penguins of Madagascar toys, so I don't think I ever had one. Never mind, I mean, if they were thinking about releasing a sequel to the Penguins of Madagascar, maybe they might get merchandises, and if there's any match grab machines or any arcade machines that's got Penguins of Madagascar merchandises, I'll see if I can win Skipper and probably Kowalski as well. Kowalski is the one that doesn't talk, but he's in love with TNT, I mean, dynamite and bombs and, shall we call, weapons? Yeah, Skipper. A very memorable character and never unforgettable. Would I call Skipper a better character than Gloria? Maybe it might be my second favourite. Probably just like in my previous tier list, I'll go to my top 3, 4 or 5 characters or shows, or well, you know what I mean. Rico is the next character, the one that talks and he's quite confident. Maybe Skipper's his best friend. I like Rico, I do. Not as much as Skipper, but he is definitely a clever character. Rico, I mean not Rico, I just talked about Rico, I should have gone to Specsavers. I mean Kowalski, I meant to say. I like Kowalski, I do. More than Rico, definitely, but do I like Kowalski more than Skipper? I'll think about it. That's a really good. That's a tough one. I like Skipper and Kowalski. I do. Kowalski for his comical weapon personality, and Skipper for his clever leadership. But out of the two, I'm not sure. He'll probably go on the top. Not a childhood favourite, but when I've been growing up and watching more of the films later on, I really like Kowalski, I do, for his characteristics. Private, which is the youngest. I like Private, I do, bless him. He's the most friendliest character of the Penguin group. Do I like him more than Rico? Well, it's not like I fell in love with Private in my childhood or even as of now. I like Private though as a fictional general interest character. Not as much as Skipper or Kowalski though, but he is definitely a lovely character, Private is. Not like a fan favourite, but just as a Madagascar general interest character. I like Private and Rico, but not as much as Skipper and Kowalski. Now we've got King Julian from the first film. With me, I don't mind King Julian, he's not my favourite. In the late, when it comes to anything after the first one of Madagascar, he looks so out of character, to be honest, in Escape to Africa and Europe's Most Wanted, because King Julian went from being like the leader of his own country of Madagascar, and he lost the song, I like to move it, and no, I'm not going to sing the whole song before you say anything. Yeah, probably the best thing about King Julian is probably his Move It song, probably in his own version. But he became such a weird character after the first film of Madagascar. I know who King Julian's best friend is. Mort. Oh, look at that. I don't know why. I never thought about being a couple. And yes, I am only joking. If you haven't seen Madagascar, fair enough, but I'm just talking about to the Madagascar fans in a joking way. Because I know Mort is the most annoying character to King Julian. I have no idea why. Maybe because it's his characteristics, maybe because he's smaller and shorter. Who knows? I don't mind King Julian, but I definitely like Alex, Marty, Melman, Rico and Private more than King Julian. But I wouldn't call him a bad character, but definitely not one of my favourites. To be honest, with this next character, I can't remember his name. I'm really sorry. But I do remember he goes along with King Julian, he does. I like him more than King Julian, but maybe it's just because he's such a minor character. He appeared in all of the three trilogy films. I just don't like him as much as Alex or Marty or Private. I find him alright, you know, not a bad character, but not like a fan favourite either. I have to say I do like him a bit more than King Julian, but we don't really get too much of him, to be honest, really. It's not like he's like a die-hard fan or um a fondly character, that's what I was looking for. But he is definitely better than King Julian. Maybe that's just my opinion. I can't remember his name. He doesn't really have such a massive role in the films. He's just alright, but nothing special. Mort. Mort the lemur. The only thing I don't like about Mort is when he first seen Alex, his crying, well, maybe his, his screaming, maybe crying, screaming. Depends on you, really. I couldn't get that out of my head for a long time. Mutz is screaming, crying, or whatever you want to call it, yelling. Mort has become a better character after the first one of Madagascar. He went from being a crybaby, cowardly character to someone who is more jolly and friendly and more smiley, definitely. Do I like him more than King Julian and his friend? I like him more in Escape to Africa and Europe's Most Wanted, but I know that I wasn't a fan of him in the first film of Madagascar. But because that's two films beaten over one, I will put him next to Private. He's not my favourite character, but I know he became a better character after the first film. Just because it's my opinion. The chimps. I like the chimps, I do. Solid, really. They're not my favourite characters, they're minor characters, but I like them more than King Julian and him, but not as much as Alex or Rico. They're alright, nothing special, but nothing terrible either. Just good characters, but nothing fondly. And the last character that appeared in the first one of Madagascar is the grandma. She only appeared in the first and Escape to Africa, because likely she died when Alex and his dad beaten her from the dam she built to protect all the water from going over Africa when she went on holiday. She is like one of my favourite characters because of her karate kung fu personality. And shall I tell you a little secret? No, I'm not gay. I'm completely straight. No, Lewis Logs is not cancelled. No, I'm not going to put Mario Toy Family episodes on my YouTube channel because of copyright reasons. I think this grandma, especially this face right there. I'll see if I can zoom in. Oh, that's better. That face right there. Ah, she's like every other grandma, like Muriel from Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog, or Granny from Looney Tunes, or Grandma from SpongeBob SquarePants, or what other grandma characters are there? I'm trying to think. Oh dear, I can't remember. Yeah, probably just like Grandma from Looney Tunes and SpongeBob. And what was the first one I've mentioned? I forgot. Should I have gone to Super Specsavers? Maybe she might get you a kissy wissy, or maybe a cuddly woodly around you. Would anyone love to be next to her? I am only joking. Oh, it's all malcontent, all gothic and all Call of Duty attitude. You lot are very enthusiastic. I am only joking with that as well. She's definitely one of my favourite characters from Madagascar. Not as much as Gloria, but I will go through the top characters soon. Alex's dad from the second film, Escape to Africa. I like him, I do. Not as much as Alex or Melman. Just a nice character who is thinks about his son wasn't really a real lion in the first place, but then he sees everything about his son and he accepts Alex as he is. It's really nice that we get to know about Alex's background in Escape to Africa. Is he a better character than Mutt and the Chimps? Probably not, but probably better than King Julian and his friend. I can't remember this character's name again. I am sorry, but I haven't seen Escape to Africa for ages, but I have seen the film lots of times. He's like the secondary villain in Escape to Africa, but the real villain is the grandma because she's the one that blocked all of the water. I found him alright. You know, not one of my favourite characters, but just a fun villain, but he's a secondary villain. Grandma is the first villain, the real villain of Escape to Africa. And finally we have Moto. Is it Moto, is it? Moto. Sounds like Mojo. Or something like that, I don't know. He's very muscular and he's got, oh yeah, that characteristic. Probably the Love Island characteristic called Take Me Out with Paddy McGuinness. What do I think of him? He's a fun character, not one of my favourites, better than King Julian. Yeah, same thing goes for Alex's dad and the secondary villain of Escape to Africa. Just a fun character. No, it's not the villain before you say anything. Unfortunately, for the last three characters on here, the only one I can remember is this character, I think, from the Penguins of Madagascar. Yeah, he's the leader of that modern ship the Penguins went on to. I remember him, but I don't remember his name. I found him alright, nothing special. Better than King Julian. Just an alright character, but nothing really special. I can't tell who's this character here because his head's been chopped off or cropped off. And she's from the Penguins of Madagascar, the series, but I don't really know much of her. So I'm going to leave her out along with this character. And that is my Madagascar character's opinion. Let's look at the top 4 characters. Whose character's better, Kowalski or Grandma, out of them two? I had to go with Grandma because maybe she might have been funnier. Yeah, probably funnier. Sorry, Kowalski, and sorry, Penguins of the Madagascar fans. Is she better than Skipper? Well, because she's the villain, well, she's like a minor character in the first film, but she's the villain in the second film. Because she's a villain, I'll let Skipper keep his place in second, and she's in third. Which character is number 1 then? Gloria or Skipper? Which one do I like more? I like Gloria in my childhood just because of the plush I have, and she's my favourite main character. I like Skipper, I do, because of his leadership and his confidence, his bravery, and his sometimes even sassy personality. He's a very funny character, especially in Madagascar. He thinks that his wife or fiance, which is a which is a bobblehead of a Hawaiian girl, thinks he's giving up on her. Madly Madagascar is a Valentine's special. Is like they've done Merry Madagascar, which is a Christmas special. They also done a Valentine's special. How come Shrek hasn't done a Valentine's special? Or why? How come Monsters vs Aliens hasn't done one yet? They've done Halloween, but Shrek's got Shrek the Horse and Shrek Scareless. They also got the Shrek 3D film. Well, it's basically where you wear those red and blue glasses, but they made proper 3D glasses in the late 2000s. So, which character do I like best, Gloria or Skipper? But because Gloria is my childhood favourites has to be the number one reason. Skipper's in second, and Gloria is in first place. So Gloria is my all-time favourite character from Madagascar. Skipper is my second favourite. Granny is my third favourite, and Kowalski is my fourth favourite. Yeah, and I'll definitely put Alex, Marley, Melman, Rico, and Private over there more than More or the Chimps or Moto Moto. And that's my opinion based on Madagascar characters. I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for some more. If you want to subscribe, go ahead, that's your opinion. No need to force yourself like most other YouTubers do. See you later everyone.